Carl here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial.com for short. And it's album review time. You've seen the title. We're looking at the Swedish melodeath pioneers that is In Flames, who will release their 14th full-length album, Forgone, on February 10th, 2023 via Nuclear Blast. I mean, you don't even need to tell you this, but In Flames have had one hell of an incredible musical career to date. Even when they've put out less than stellar stuff. On a personal level, not always loved what they've done. But they've always garnered attention, being one of the mainstays of melodeath, doing exactly what they want along the way too. Their dedicated fan base, and they are dedicated, have been along for the ride throughout. This new album finds In Flames re-energized, imaginative, and more than willing to dip into their very rich history to complement their new ideas. Simply put, you wouldn't mistake what you hear in this album from any other band. You'd know it is In Flames probably within the first track. But you will also find a surprise or two as well. And I think a lot of that can fall at the feet of recently joined guitarist Chris Brrraaains, who is immense on this record. Of course, a motivated In Flames is always going to be a good thing. An acoustic and melodic intro called The Beginning of All Things That Will End leads into the first proper banger of the record, State of Slow Decay. An aggressive, punchy and heady In Flames experience that moves at a frenzied pace and features a very big chorus. Before In Flames takes us back to the late 90s with Meet Your Maker, a track that leans into their more traditional sound, albeit less effects heavy. Vocalist Anders Fridden's clean singing sounds immense here. A touch of synth, a thumping drum beat, some soaring melodies and growly vocals makes Bleeding Out one to remember, followed then by the two parts of the title track. The first of which is In Flames at their most brazen sounding on this album, whereas the latter is slower, darker, melodic, and has a few more effects layered over the vocals. An interesting tone shift, even if it has plenty of heaviness to it still, and one of those surprise moments mentioned at the start. Keeping melody at the forefront, we have the solid Pure Light of Mind, a track that keeps the album sounding fresh, before In Flames return to their heavier side with the thrashier, headbanging inducing rager that is The Great Deceiver. A real gut punch of a track. It's one of the highlights of the record and shows how good and inspired In Flames can be. Consistently enjoyable, the latter portion of the album sees In the Dark deliver some meaty riffs, a stonking guitar solo and dramatic vocals, followed by a dialogue in B-flat minor, a track that once again sees In Flames look to their past to deliver a striking experience, before Sinnoh Shore showcases ringing bass lines, eerie vocal effects and a big chorus, which leaves End the Transmission with the job of closing out the album, done with heavy aplomb, especially with different layers of vocals. It's not the most spectacular of closers, but it delivers crunchy heaviness, and that's never a bad thing. This could be the best In Flames album in the modern era. The argument for it is very, very strong. I guess it probably depends upon what you define as the modern era and where the cutoff point is. But this overall is a very strong album from In Flames. Probably the album I've enjoyed the most from them, maybe as far back as Come Clarity, maybe. But I have enjoyed other records as well. I'm not really the biggest fan of this band overall, so the fact that I've come away really enjoying this and thinking a couple of these songs are going to end up in a playlist of the best of 2023, ones I'm going to be listening to as I'm driving and so on, I think that's a good sign, because I certainly wouldn't have said that about In Flames for a long time. And they're playing Bloodstock 2023 this year, so I'm kind of now excited to see them there based off what I've heard of this album. I think it's well worth checking out, but I think most people will because it's In Flames, it's their 14th album, and the buzz around it has been significantly high. It is Forgone, February 10th, 2023, via Nuclear Blast. Check it out, you know what to do, let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch. from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?